All right, realtors everywhere. What is the first thing we should do when we get a new real estate client, right? A lot of people, a lot of realtors, they might say, the first thing we need to do is we need to get them pre approved, right? And that's definitely part of the first steps when you meet a new client. But the first thing you ask a potential customer or client shouldn't be if they have a pre approval. Because if you ask a customer, the very first thing is, hey, let me ask you, do you got a pre approval? Right? Maybe they call you up on the phone. Maybe they walk into your brokerage and they say, hey, I've been thinking about looking for a family house. Me and my husband, me and my wife, me and X, Y, and Z, we're looking for some property and, we wanted to talk to someone about it. If the first thing you tell them is, hey, let me ask you this, do you have a pre approval? If that's what you say, what that's going to portray to your customer is that you don't really care much about what they're looking for, their needs, who's going to be living there, and really anything about the who, what, when, where, why, and hows of why the customer wants to own the property in the first place. It shows them you don't care about any of that until we talk about the money. And if that's your standpoint as a realtor, that you don't care about the needs and wants of our customers and clients until we get to the money, then you're basically a used car salesman as a realtor. And they're definitely out there. And I'll be surprised if that customer stays in there and speaks with you, or if they go somewhere else. Maybe they have a conversation with you and tell you they'll reach back out after they get a pre approval or something of that nature. But they're probably going to another real estate agent. That's just the truth. People that are looking to buy real estate, one of the most important purchases of their life, customers and clients and families, those kinds of people, or not just those kinds of people, people in general who are buying real estate, they want to work with a real estate agent that cares about them, that is there to help them find things that line up with their needs, their wants, their desires, that solves their problems. They're not looking to work with a real estate agent just to provide them with a commission when they don't even care about their needs, their wants, and their desires. So, the first thing you need to do with a new real estate client is you need to ask them, who, what, when, where, why, and how they're going to be using the house, the property, the rental, the investment, whatever it is, so that we can build that rapport, so that we can learn our customers' needs, their wants, their true desires, so that when we're looking for properties, we can find properties that line up with those needs specifically. Because when we send good properties to clients that line up with their needs, we get high offers and we get them quick. We don't have to play the runaround of walking a customer through 20 different properties if we can get a good property, a good idea of what they're looking for. So when I'm first meeting a potential customer or client and I'm looking to sell them some real estate, maybe an introduction would sound something like this. Hey, welcome to XYZ Brokerage. What can I help you with? Hey, we're here, me and my family, we're looking for possibly getting our family home. Family's expanding, and, we're just looking at talking with somebody about real estate. Okay, great. Let me ask you this. Have you ever bought a property? Have you ever bought some real estate from our brokerage before? Okay, the customer's going to say yes. They're going to say no. It's not going to matter what they say because I'm following up with the same thing every single time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to them how we do business. So, what I'm going to say is something like this. Okay, great. The way that we do business here at XYZ Brokerage is we like to sit you down. We like to learn exactly, what you're going to be doing with the property, who's going to be living there, all the different activities you're going to need, and just all of the different things that come with owning a property so that I can be sure that I find you real estate that actually meets your needs. Once I have a great picture of what you're looking for, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at, the MLS or all the different ways we find real estate, and I'm going to find properties that line up with your needs specifically. Okay, once I find a few properties that, line up with your needs specifically, go take a look at them. And if they line up with your needs, we'll put in an offer and buy the property. Does that sound fair enough? Okay, now what I just did there was I told my customer what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to learn your needs. I'm going to learn your wants. I'm going to learn your desires. And once I learn that, and once I have a good picture of what that is, then I'm going to go take a look at property to make sure that the properties I'm finding line up with your needs, wants, and desires, right? How much sense does that make, right? What are you looking for? Let me find it, right? Then once I go through that, I'm going to ask them, let me ask you this. Are you pre-approved? Right? Because now I got to get to the budget. Now I got to understand how much money they're looking to spend on a property. And we got to get them pre approved, unless they're cash buyers. So, honestly, what I would say is okay, great. Let me ask you this. Are you pre approved or are you paying cash? Now the customer will say, "Oh, well, we're not paying cash. We're looking to get pre-approved. We don't have a pre-approval yet. We need to get one." Right? If that's what they say, then you as a real estate professional should have a loan professional that you work with. Excuse me. Maybe there's one in your brokerage. Maybe you have a good friend who's a loan officer. Maybe you just find a loan officer that you work well with and continually use them. Maybe you find a bunch of loan officers to work with. That's a whole nother talk. Nonetheless, we're going to ask them, hey, are you, going to do you have a pre-approval or are you going to pay cash? They're going to say, no, we need a pre-approval. Okay, great. I have a loan officer. What we'll do is we'll get you a pre-approval using Jimmy, and then you'll be good to go. Sound fair enough? So now you know what they need. They know your business. They know, the kind of process they're going to walk through, right? You told them you're going to learn their needs, wants, and desires. They agree with all that. Now we're working on getting a pre-approval so that our customer can buy the right property and so that we know what property we need to be looking for. Because if they tell you they want a $500,000 house, but they can only get it pre-approved for $250,000 house, it's going to be a waste of your time unless they have, $250,000 down or some other way to, get the property, right? Unless there's some crazy way that they get it or have a bunch of money down. If you show someone that's pre-approved at 250, $500,000 houses, you're wasting everybody's time. The buyer, the seller, you. So that's not what we want to do, right? So we have to learn their needs, learn their wants, learn their emotions first. Then we go for a pre-approval so we know their budget, so we know how much they can spend, so we know that they're pre-approved to buy and they're ready to put in an offer. Because the next piece of the puzzle is once we get them into the right house and they walk the property, now we need to get an offer. And not just any offer. We need a good offer that's going to stick with the seller, highest and best. And we want it to be a good one, right? Because sellers, they don't want to see bad offers. And if we're a real estate agent that's constantly sending in bad offers to sellers, that's not going to help us sell a piece of property. And that's why it's so important to, as the first thing we do, learn our customers' needs, their wants, their emotions, the true reason why they want to buy a house so that we get a good picture of their emotions, right? Humans, we buy things on emotion and we justify it with logic. So you learn the emotions first, then you find the right property, or rather, you learn the emotions first, then we get a pre-approval, then we find the right property. Once we find the right property, we walk them through the property, then we get a high offer. Once we get a high offer, hopefully the seller accepts, and bada bing, bada boom. Right? But if the first thing we're doing when we talk to a client is going right to the pre-approval without learning the who, what, when, where, why, and hows of their emotions and their needs and their wants, then we're making a big mistake. So while we're talking to clients and potential customers this week, let's make sure we're asking, who, what, when, where, why, and how you're going to be using the property. Who's going to be living there? What activities do you like to do at the property? How many bedrooms do you want? How big do you want the bedrooms? How many bathrooms do you want? How big of a yard do you need? What areas do you like? What school districts do you like? If you're using who, what, when, where, why, and how, anytime you ask a customer or client a question, it's always going to prompt an open-ended answer that's going to give you a lot of the information that you need. So focus down on asking a lot of who, what, when, where, why, and how questions with your potential customers and clients. Go past surface level with them so we get a good, very detailed picture of what they're looking for. Then get a pre-approval, then show properties, then get an offer, seller accepts, we're into title. We're going to be talking about the sales process in general, RV sales, real estate sales, dealership sales, sales in general all year long. So if you haven't given us a like on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel yet, hop over to YouTube, hop over to Facebook, type in Infinite Media Resources, give us that like and that subscription. If you're a dealership, if you're a business, if you're a company that needs more leads for your sales team, that's what we do here at IMR. We guarantee we can double the amount of customers your sales team is talking to in the first 90 days, or we work for free. So I guarantee you, if your dealership, if your business, if your brokerage, if your whatever needs more customers, we're the company to call and we can help you get more customers. Give me a call directly, 330-703-3930. Again, 330-703-3930. We are working on a real estate sales training program right now. It should be out very soon. So if you're a realtor that wants to get better at the deal, keep checking back to sellmorelivemore.net for that real estate training program. It should be up here soon. In between time, if you want to grab the book, go buy the book, Sell More, Live More Sales Training. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Barnes & Noble. It'll walk you through the sales process. That way you can get better at the deal and start closing more sales. But while we're dealing with new real estate potential customers and clients this coming up week, let's make sure we're learning their needs, their wants, their emotions, their desires, so that we can find them the right property, walk the right property, and close on the right property, instead of getting into this bad habit of, walking through 10, 20, 30 different homes before the seller, or rather before the buyer makes a decision. The least amount of homes we walk our customer through, or the lower the amount of homes we walk our customer through, the higher our profit per deal is going to be, because we're not going to have as much time into the deal. The more time we spend in any given deal, the lower our profit margins become, because we have time in the deal, and time is more important than money. So if you're good at learning your customers' needs, their wants, their emotions, and you're able to find, show them, walk them through 1 to 3 houses, 1 to 5 houses before they make a decision, then your profits are going to be higher, because you're going to be more efficient. Your customers are going to be more happy, because they're not going to waste a bunch of time walking through a bunch of properties that don't meet their needs. And they're going to look at you like you're the best real estate agent in the market, and then we're going to refer you to all your friends. So first thing we should be doing, learning their needs, learning their wants, learning their emotions. That way we can get the deal closed, we can find the right property, and we can go from there. Again, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, or given us a like on Facebook, hop over to YouTube, hop over to Facebook, type in Infinite Media Resources, give us that subscription, give us that like. That way you can be here for all the sales and marketing content that we're going to be putting out throughout the year. We'll see you on the next one.